We'll be looking at UNESCO Nigeria and media literacy with Dr. Sharon Omotoso, who is the Director, International Media and Information Literacy Institute. She's joining us virtually.
When you talk about media and information literacy, could you walk us through what exactly you mean and how this is so important to UNESCO?
I bring you greetings from the entire team of the International Media and Information Literacy Institute, domiciled in the National Open University of Nigeria campus. I want to say that IMILI, for short, that's how we call it, IMILI, is very important to not only UNESCO, but the entire community, the global community. I would say that IMILI is a brainchild of the Federal Republic of Nigeria through the Ministry of Information and National Orientation. Usually UNESCO would organize a global media and information literacy week. And on the 11th edition of that Global Media and Information Literacy Week, it's usually held in October every year. Nigeria hosted the 11th one in Abuja. That was in 2022. And you will recall that the Nigeria's social media crisis peaked when Twitter was banned for 7 months between June 5, 2021 to January 13, 2022. And following up on this, Nigeria secured the hosting rights of Global MIL Week, and with the theme, Nurturing Trust, a Media and Information Literacy Imperative. From the Global Media and Information Literacy Week came the Abuja Declaration. So when we talk about media and information literacy, it's a combination of several things. It's a mix of many things. The world has become a global village, and people are using information and digital platforms to do all kinds of things. People make profit from those spaces, people get informed, people get educated, people communicate, they link up with themselves via the social media spaces, and of course, a lot of economic activities are going on the internet. Beyond that, we also know that when we talk about media and information literacy, we talk about the libraries, we talk about the applications that are used for educational facilities, we talk about the use of phones and telecommunication infrastructure. We talk about the ability to read, to understand, the ability to recognize signs, the ability to interpret things. So it's a whole gamut of things, and because we live in an information age, media and information literacy is one of the very important aspects of focus for UNESCO. And it is on that note that the Abuja Declaration that I was talking about came to be. And from that declaration, it reaffirmed the urgency to advance global financing for media and information literacy development, to strengthen access to competency tools for combating disinformation and building trust. So I started by talking about the Twitter ban and how many of those spaces encouraged disinformation, misinformation, hate speech, all kinds of irresponsible publications and things like that. And because of that, the society often gets confused and distracted. Sometimes truth is colored. Sometimes things are falsified. And many times people don't get to understand which is the truth and which is not the truth. And this has affected all the fabrics of our communities, our politics, our democracy, leadership, organizational cohesion, social cohesion, as the case may be. Peace is threatened just because our people are not media and information literate. And that is why this is very important for Nigeria, and not only for Nigeria, this is important for the world. And so we bring the International Media and Information Literacy Institute not only to Nigeria, but to the world. Yeah.
All right, listening to you, you talked about misinformation, disinformation, and of course, the fact that these are things that need to be curbed. And when you add fake news to that, it makes me wonder how the world, not just Nigeria and not just UNESCO, or the entire world intends to tackle this, especially given the fact that AI has become so prominent now. So when you talk about this problem, what kind of dimension does this problem have, and how do you think the world can tackle it? How does your institute also factor into this?
Okay, so one of the things that we have recognized at the level of the institute is the fact that we all need to put hands on deck to address the challenges of disinformation, misinformation, fake news, hate speech, and it's all over the place. And as a result of that, it's important for us to know that it's not something that only one person or an individual or can address. It is what we need everybody to come on board and work on. And the first one is the ability to recognize the information that is being put to you. That's the ability to recognize who is doing the speaking, who is passing this information. What are they saying? What are the intentions behind what is being said? What action are they trying to elicit? What is the implication of those acts and the things that would come out, from whatever thing that we are exposed to via the media? And so the Institute is set up to ensure that people get the requisite skills to be able to recognize information, to be able to recognize what is fake news, what is hate speech, to recognize the deep fakes, to be able to fact check on things, and of course to also be able to regulate, self-regulate, and we emphasized again that when we talk about regulation, it's not censorship. And so one of the things that the declaration, the Abuja Declaration, emphasized is a robust media and information literacy policy, strategies that include accountability checks, regulation, self-regulation of the digital platforms, of media spaces, of content that is put out there for schools, for children, for religious bodies, for institutions. Of course, we also see collaboration so that national and subnational educational policies can embrace media and information literacy. So by that, I'm talking about curriculum development and the ability to carry people along to let them see that the teachings, of media and information literacy across our spaces becomes an urgent task. And of course, we also want to cascade, the drive on media and information literacy awareness to religious institutions, to neighborhoods, to schools, as the case may be, because we know that each of these bodies, the stakeholders have roles that they play in the dissemination of information, and of course in how our spaces, how information travel within our spaces and how they are understood and how actions are taken.
All right, Dr. Omotoso, on the sideline of the inauguration event in Abuja, we listened to Maria Gabriel, the UNESCO Assistant Director General for Communication and Information, and she said that this establishment is a milestone, and we sort of agree, and that's because it's the world's first international media and information literacy institute in Nigeria, at least, so it's big. But talk to us. The institute that has been described as a partnership between Nigeria and UNESCO, who chose who in this conversation? Did Nigeria choose UNESCO, or UNESCO choose Nigeria, or chose Nigeria, and what's in it for both parties?
Okay, thank you very much. I would say it's a two-sided thing, it's a two-way thing. And so if you look at it, on that day, we signed a tripartite agreement. That agreement is between UNESCO, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and IMILI. So you see, it looks like three separate entities, but we all work together. Who chose who? Nigeria chose UNESCO. UNESCO chose Nigeria. So the first thing was from that 2022 Global Media and Information Literacy Week, and the Abuja Declaration, Nigeria committed to funding, to financing and supporting media and information literacy activities. Nigeria is not the only one that is interested in that, but because Nigeria was host that year, that was the commitment of Nigeria to ensuring that global financing focus on media and information literacy. And so as a result of that, we put up the proposal, to UNESCO to request to host the very first Media and Information Literacy Institute across the world. It's the very first one that is a Category 2 center. Now, being a Category 2 center means that we can work and collaborate with other organizations from across the world, and we can push, the message of media and information literacy across spaces. So it's a two-way thing. We agreed to host, Nigeria agreed to host the International Media and Information Literacy Institute, and the process commenced, which of course was a rigorous process of conducting feasibility studies. The institute needed to be sited on a university campus, and so because of that, we had to look out for one of the universities in Nigeria that can do that. Luckily, we got the National Open University of Nigeria, and we have worked with the Mass Comm department and allied units within the university to establish the institute. Having done that, the UNESCO team came into force to come in for a feasibility study to see what is on ground and what is being done and all of that. That was also done. And after that, the approval to host the institute came in November 2025 at the 43rd General Conference of the Communication and Information Commission, the CIS session, held in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. Ultimately, it led to Nigeria hosting the UNESCO's first Category 2 Institute on Media and Information Literacy. So it's a two-way thing. Nigeria chose to host the Global Institute, and UNESCO handed it over to us.
Okay, let's take a look at the institute itself. And of course, I've been looking at the website. You have an academic unit, a research and publication unit, information and counseling unit, and a policy and advocacy unit, as well as an administration and management unit. That's the structure that you have, which has been put out on the website of the institute. But how will it operate? You talked about being part of the National Open University. Walk us through what that collaboration looks like and how Nigerians will benefit from it.
The institute is an independent body. The approval that was given by UNESCO affords us the opportunity to operate autonomously, and that autonomy is widely emphasized. You will recall that when the Assistant Director General UNESCO came, she was also emphatic about the fact that the institute must be autonomous. So we needed spaces to get things going, to get things started, and that is what has been done. So the institute is expected to operate, of course, on the campus of the National Open University of Nigeria, but we are not an integral part of that system.
Okay.
Again, the institute is expected to operate in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, but that does not stop us from achieving our goals. So when you talk about the various arms of the institute that we have, the research, the policy, advocacy section, and all of that, there are things that the institute will have to ensure that we take advantage of, we pay attention to, in order to be able to achieve our goals. So as we talk about this autonomy, we also understand that our relationships with this body, UNESCO, the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation.
But when we talk about information gap, and one of the things that you're set out to do, as in your toolkit for media organizations, to help media managers also create their own bespoke MIL policy for their own organizations as well. How do you hope to step in to see that media managers are able to have that bespoke and toolkit executed to see? And one of the agenda that you set out to do, you said you are including proliferation of mis and disinformation and the hate speech as well. Talk to us about this agenda and how you hope to execute it.
Okay, so I should say from the start that we are still putting a number of things in shape. So the website is not completed. It's a work in progress. There will still be many more things that you will find there. It's going to be interactive, and it's going to be explicit about the things that we are going to be doing. But let me just give you an idea, you know, into some of the things that we will be doing. The toolkit, the mass open online courses that we'll be having, and a number of other things. We will be working with different organizations. For instance, I should say that the pursuit of information integrity is cross-cutting. So many things are involved, and let me begin, for example, with the UN agencies. Climate disinformation, fake news, hate speech within government system, digital violence against women, health disinformation, corruption, crime on digital platforms, food crisis, water and sanitation issues, migration, peace and security challenges across the world are just very few of the multi-stakeholder things that we can do or that we will be doing. And so when you talk about, you know, all the agencies, you know, we will be working with them. And how do we intend to do that? Of course, our research arm will be doing much more in terms of building and developing toolkits. We will be working with civil society organizations. Of course, we will have series of trainings. The institute is a training institute. We'll carry out research, you know, not only within Nigeria, but across the globe, because it's a global institute. We will also be working with policymakers across spaces, you know, assessing and analyzing policies and advocating, you know, for policies that support media and information literacy across spaces. So I can only say that our work plan is already laid down, and you will begin to hear from us from your different spaces. So the world should look out for IMILI. We are going to be coming out, you know, on courtesy calls, you know, signing MOUs, and working with different categories of people to ensure that this is done. And this does not leave anybody behind. We are talking from the elite into the grassroots. We are talking from Nigeria into the Caribbean, into other parts of the world, the Arab world, you know. We're talking about the, you know, the Europe, the Americas, as the case may be. We already have, you know, all the stakeholders that we are working with, all different kinds of network, you know, under UNESCO that are waiting for us to commence with our project and our programs. And so we know that this will not be a challenge for us to achieve.
All right, Dr. Omotoso, a final word in 30 seconds. Your vision as the first director, the pioneer director of the Institute.
In 30 seconds, pioneering is a lot of work. And so I will say that I also align with the vision of the Institute to ensure that we have a media and information literate world. That's the vision. And then every other thing can fit into it. 30 seconds.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Accurate timekeeper. It takes us to debate room in secondary schools.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Sharon Omotoso, Director, International Media and Information Literacy Institute, talking to us about UNESCO, Nigeria, and media literacy. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.